everybody, it's Tamika, and I am here to share with you the tutorial for this note card gift set. Super cute and shabby gift set. I'll put a link so you guys can see this in its entirety and explain what we're doing a tutorial on. But the winner, so to speak, of the tutorial process was for the hand tutorial, because not a lot of people have or want to do the silhouette cameo, because this was cut out using the silhouette machine and files. So I've tried my best to get as close to the box as possible. Of course, you know, they measure in the increments of tiniest. So I've got it as close as possible. And so I'm going to share with you that today. And then I am also just going to create another set, since I'm doing it anyway, in the romance novel paper. So I'm going to do that. So you'll see probably at the end of the video, the finished product will be a romance novel. But I'm going to do the tutorial in white cardstock. So in between sections, I'll try to do a bit where you can pause before you get to the next section, because I'm only going to do one example. I'm going to do one envelope, one card, you know, one of those, so that you can make as many as you want to and pause the video and then come back, so you don't have to keep rewinding. So that's what I like to do. I pause it, I do it, and then I go to the next step when I'm watching tutorials. So the first thing we're going to do is start out making our envelope. And I'm using my handy dandy Martha Stewart trimmer, and I love it. A lot of people ask what trimmer this is, and this is just that. It's a rotary, I forget the name of it, but it's a big heavy duty trimmer, and I love it. So we're going to start out with cutting your pattern paper. We're going to do the envelope first, and it is 7 1/8 by 4 3/8. So that's your envelope. Of course, you want to decide ahead of time how many you want to include in your gift set. Then you're going to take your scoreboard. Again, another Martha Stewart tool. On the 7 7/8 inch side, you're going to score at 2 and 5. Then you're going to flip it onto the 4 3/8 side and score at 5/8 and 3 3/4. Okay. You're going to take your scissors, get those ready, and I'm just going to fold over or burnish these score marks so I can have a nice tight crease for my envelope. Okay, so there's 3 boxes. Okay, you want to cut out one of the end boxes. So there's a top and a bottom. Of course, we're just going to work with that. So at the score marks, there's a score mark here, a score mark here. We're going to cut on the score line as best as we can. And then on the middle box, we're going to cut it at an angle. Let me do it, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. See? Cut out this bottom right chunk, and then a tiny bit of angle at the one up. Same thing on this side. Cut out the bottom right chunk, and then a little sliver at the top. So that's going to be your bottom. And we're going to flip it onto the other side and do the same thing. Well, not the same thing. We're just going to cut out this square. You don't have to make a diagonal cut on that. Just cut out the left and right squares at the score mark. And then do this side. So this is what you should have. That's going to fold over like so, and then you'll have your envelope. So just make sure, like here, I didn't cut all the way at the score mark, and it also depends on how thick your score tool is and how heavy you are, how heavy your hand is when you crease in the paper. Alright, make sure I got all my little score marks together, and then I like to round the corners. I'm going to use my Crocodile Corner Tromper by We Are Memory Keepers. I'm going to use the 1/2 inch section, and I'm going to round my corners. So if that's the envelope folded, I want the top flat ends to be rounded like so. And then if you want these two to be rounded, you do the same thing. I'm going to do that on the 1/4 inch. You don't have to do that. Now remember, I didn't do this with my other set because it was cut out by the cameo. But if you want it to look a little bit more of a design, then you just, do these extra little things. So that's that. I'm just going to clean up my edges because I just can't like this tiny bit of overhang. So you take your ATG gun or whatever adhesive you're going to use, and you apply 2 strips to the bottom, like so. Fold it over. Give it a crease. And then you have your tiny little envelope. So go ahead and make the set that you want to make, the quantity that you want to make of those, and then we're going to come back and do the liner. Okay, we are back, and I'm going to use a different piece of paper just to show you the liner part. This is actually just a digital download paper that I had downloaded from an Etsy shop. And so what we want to do is, even this out, we want to cut our paper at, for the liner, 2 7/8 by 1 7/8. So that's a mark before the 2 and a tick mark before the 3. Okay? And that's it for that. You want to, if you rolled over your, if you cornered, what am I trying to say? If you did the curve, if you corner chomped your edges on the envelope, you want to do the same thing. So I'm going to do that for this one. And this is very good. You can just utilize your white cardstock or your base cardstock, and then if you have a small amount of pattern paper, you can use it for that, just to add the simple touch. So see how cute that is? Just a tiny little edge. I'm going to add just a little bit of tape so you can see. I know this is a sample, but, and then it just adds that perfect little touch. You can stretch your pattern paper that way. Super cute. Love it. So that's the liner. So now we're going to go ahead and move to the note card. And the note card is cut at 2 7/8 by 5 7/8. It's a little bit shorter than a 3x3 note card. So it should end up being 2 7/8 inch square. So line up the ends. You can use your score tool to cut in half, but just line up the ends and use your bone folder to fold it up. So that should fit perfectly inside your note card. Okay. So along with this part, we're going to go ahead and do the page flag. And I told you I was doing it in romance novel as well. This page flag, banner flag, is going to go on top of the envelope here. And then we're going to stitch it across. So this is cut at 1 1/8 by 2. I'm going to use this leftover piece of scrap paper since I already have it cut out. So it's 1 1/8 by 2 inches. And then you'd have to get whatever image, if you're not, of course, not doing it on the cameo, whatever image you want in the center, if you want an image, and punch it in the middle of your paper. So we're going to go ahead and, here, I'll do it without this. You have your paper, cut it 1 1/8 by 2, and you just do a cute little banner. I just slit it, just a little slit down the middle, and then from corner to the top of that cut is where I want to cut. The corner of this side to that, and then the corner of this side to the middle. That's really how you do a page banner flag. Really cute, really simple. So again, you'd want to take whatever punch and punch it center here. I don't have a hard punch, so, and plus I've already cut it. So, but that's what you want to do, and you want to make how many ever envelopes you made, how many ever note cards you made. You want to make the same quantity in that. And then before we stitch it on, I'm just going to add a little bit of ATG tape across the top and place it where I want it to be, so that sewing would be a lot easier on the front of the card. And whatever centerpiece you used, the negative, of course, is going to be here, but we take the positive and we put it on the note card on the inside at the bottom. I'm just going to use a little bit of this tape. Put that there. You see it there. Really cute. Alright, so we have our envelope, our liner, and our note card. And we're going to go ahead and move on to making the boxes. Okay, now we're going to make the boxes that will hold our envelopes and note cards. These are going to fit inside the regular boxes. I mean the regular box that we're going to make at the end to separate the note cards from the envelopes. So I've already completed my envelopes and note cards. I just have to stitch on the note card, which we'll do in a later video. So the first thing you want to do to make these boxes is, get your cardstock out to cut. You're going to need 2 pieces. So you'll need 2 tops and 2 bottoms. So I have white cardstock bottoms and then pattern paper tops, just to save my pattern paper. So the mini boxes for the bottom measurement is 5 by 5. And then for the mini box, the top measurement is 4 5/8 by 4 5/8. Alright. We're going to start out with the top one, which is the last one we just did, 4 5/8 inch square. Get your score tool out. And then we're going to score at 5/8 of an inch. 2, 3, 4, 5/8 of an inch. That's the tick mark after the 1/2 inch. We're going to do that on all 4 sides. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and fold that over. Varnish all of the edges. Get a crisp edge. Take your scissors and we're just going to make some slits. This bottom left here little box, we're just going to slit at the score mark to the cross score mark. So we just have this tiny little flap there. You're going to do that on this side as well. And you're going to flip it over and do the same thing, just to the score mark, on the score mark. Okay, and then you're going to take some adhesive. I'm going to use hot glue for this video, and we're going to put hot glue or whatever your adhesive is, fold it over and match the corner. So you want to do that to all 4 sides. Just line it up very well. If you find that your scoring wasn't the best or it's just not lining up, just take your scissors and trim off a little edge. Just trim it down. So like if you're, let's just say this box was too big, I measured it different and it's just hanging overhang. At the top here, just cut it at a little angle. So like that. That's the top of the box to the corner. And then you just would apply your, that way you don't see that overhang and it still can attach. See? That kind of neatens up things a little bit. So you have your box all set. And there we go. This is your, which one we do? 4 5/8. This is the top. This is the top of your box. Of course I'm doing it in white, so it all looks the same to me. But this is the top of the box. Alright, let's go ahead and go and make the bottom. So you have your 5 by 5 inch square, and you want to score at 7/8 all around the pattern paper. And that is the tick mark before the 1 inch. Okay, go ahead and fold over your corners. Remember, you want to make 2 for the top and 2 for the bottom. And we want to do the same thing with this box. Cut on the score line to the opposite score line. So you should have 3 separate pieces at the bottom. Flip it completely over to the other side and do the same thing. And again, if you have box overhang, you know, you want to just tidy it up. So you're just going to go from corner to corner at a diagonal. See? If that overhangs. So if you're looking at it like this, you just want to slant it from corner to corner, just like that. So it would look like such. And then you just would add your glue or adhesive, whatever you're using to close your box. Okay. And then 2 more. This side, and then that's good. Okay, so once you make 2 sets of these, there you go. Easy peasy. So then 1 set would hold your envelopes, and then 1 set would hold your note cards. Alright, let's go ahead and make the big box to hold everything in. Okay, now we're going to work on the big box, and I decided to use vellum for my insert here. And previously I used acetate, which you can still do. I just don't have any more acetate. So we're going to go ahead and make this box. So starting out with the bottom of the box, you're going to need your sheet of cardstock cut at 9 7/8. That's the tick mark before 10 by 8 3/8. Okay. And then while we have our cutting tool out, we're going to go ahead and cut the top of the box, which is 7.5 by 6. 6 by 7.5, and that's the top. Okay. So take your bottom sheet, and we're going to start out on the 8 3/8 inch side. Can you guys see me here? Just move this out the way. Okay, and 8 3/8 inch side, we're going to score at 2 1/4 and 6 1/4. You're going to flip it, line it back up. You're going to score at 2 1/8 and then 7 5/8. Okay. We're going to fold over all of these edges. I'm going to use my bone folder here because I really want this. I really want you to emphasize getting that straight, crisp edge. So, take your scissors again, and you have your bottom 3, same scenario. Cut on the score line to the cross score line. And do that on the left and right side. Flip it over. And do it again on the left and right side. Okay. And then I'm going to cut off my little angles from end of the corner to the top of the corner, just a diagonal. I like doing that, make it a little bit more crisper, in case there's any overhang. And then all you want to do is fold it up. I'm going to use my glue gun, and fold up my edges. So got the glue on the corner triangle here. Fold it up, line up the edges. And I'm using 110-pound cardstock from Michael's Recollection brand. Okay. So once you get all that, then you have your box. Super cute. No edge overhang. I just didn't glue that all the way, but love it. Love it, love it, love it. Now let's move to our top box, our lid. Okay, take your score tool out in your top box, and on the 7.5-inch side, going the long way, we want to score at 1 inch and then 6 5/8. Tick mark after the 6.5. We're going to flip it again, score at 1 inch and then 5 1/8. And then we are going to again fold our score marks. We're almost there, guys. It's the home stretch. Alright, so the same thing, cut on your score mark to your cross score mark, flip it over and do it on the other side. But before you seal it, if you want to have a window, now whether you choose the vellum window or you choose the acetate window or nothing, is your choice. So you want to cut out a rectangle, or you can use a die. So if you're going to use a die, let's just say you're going to use this Baroque die, you would put your paper on top, center it on the Baroque die, make sure your centerpiece, make sure your die cut fits in this square. Die cut it, run it through the machine just like this, or whatever die cut you're using. So if I was using a Baroque die, I'd run it through like that. That way I'd have that hole there. If you're not using a die, but you want a window, just cut a rectangle at 3 by 4 1/4. 3 by 4 1/4. Okay? Center it the best way you can on the paper if you're doing this all by hand. So center it, eyeball it the best way you think is perfect for you. Hold it there and then just draw all around it, or trace around it if you want the window. Okay? Then you can use your scissors if you're handy with that. I think I did that when I was at work. Or you can use your Lord, I was going to say Etch-a-Sketch. Don't use the Etch-a-Sketch. What is that thing called? X-Acto knife. And cut that out. So if you're going to use your scissors, I just punch a little hole, get in there, and you just cut out your little window. And you want to take your time doing this, obviously. And I probably would use pencil, just so I can erase it, because underneath, if you're going to use acetate, they can see the marks that you made for your window. And I'm not doing a very good job here of cutting. Probably be better if I had smaller scissors. And then it's a rough job, but so then you have your window, and then you cut out a piece of your vellum or your acetate to fit right on the inside here. Add your ATG tape and put it on there. ATG tape or whatever acetate you're using. Oh, and I forgot to take off my little edges here. Now I'm going to add my hot glue just to close it up. Okay. And then the other sides. I would think that you guys would be handling your paper a little bit better than I am. Okay, so there's the top. And after you put your vellum or your acetate on there, it should fit on there perfectly. So the insides of your little boxes would fit right in there. Okay? So we've done with our boxes and all of the inserts. It's time to go ahead and work on our garland. So let's head over to the sewing machine. Okay, here is how I stitch the garland. So you take whatever it is that you're stitching. In this case is these tiny hearts. Hopefully you guys will be able to see with this view. I have a simple stitch setting. So all I do is take my heart, and there is, here's my bone folder. There's a little guide, a little arrow right here, excuse me, of where your line will be. So I just line my heart center, just center in that space. Before I do that, I put in a couple stitches to start it out with. Just, okay, just a little bit, using my foot press. And then lift up my lever, put the little heart there, and I get my next heart ready. So you want to sew through here, and then 2 stitches in between, and then add another one. So sew through. 1, 2 stitches, add your next piece. Sew through. 1, 2 stitches, or just how many ever stitches you want in between so that they can twist freely. Add another heart. Two stitches. I'm trying to go slow. And then I'm going to flip this over. Oh, that's the white side. Okay. I'm going to add again. 1, 2. Add another one. See? Very easy. So then when you're done, you just add a couple more. Okay. Release your foot. Hold it and then pull your extra off. And then you should have, you guys can see, a trail like this. Of course, I've already done my entire string, but it went by super fast. Okay, and while we have the sewing machine out, we're going to go ahead and stitch our note cards across the top. This is just for decorative purposes. We've already adhered the banner, so we just want to start out. Hope you guys can see. All we want to do is, let me lower this a little bit. Okay, all we want to do is put the foot on the edge of the paper below the score mark and just run it across the banner. I'm doing a straight stitch. You can do a decorative stitch if you like. I'm going to take my scissors and then cut off the excess. And then we're just going to clean it up. But this is how it should look. Okay, now that we're done with our garland, and it turned out super cute. I love it. And I just used 2 6x6 paper pads and filled them up. So I don't know how many hearts I have, but I have quite a few that I've stitched together, and didn't take very long at all. Maybe not even 5 minutes. So that's done, and then we're going to make the spool. But while we were there, we went ahead and stitched our last, well, my last card, but stitched the across the decorative piece across the banner. So our cards are complete. So you can fold those in there and put those away, and then our envelopes are done, and then the box is done. So the next thing we want to move to is making the spool. Now you can use an old spool from, if you go to the Target dollar spot, or if you have old spool hanging around, you can use that, or you can cut a piece of pattern paper, and this paper is cut at 2 by 5.5. And then I'm also using some scallop circles, and these are cut at 2 inches. Now you can back this up with some chipboard if you'd like. So you just want to meet the edges together to make a cylinder, circle. That's it. And you want to make sure that that fits on top of there. So all we're going to do is hot glue it together. So I'm going to add a strip of hot glue to the inner layer. I'll show you here. That's what I added there. I'm going to fold this over and then just match it up so that it's nice and even, and seal it So you have your circle. And then I'm just going to use some more hot glue around the rim and lay that down. So like I said, you can use some chipboard or however. I have a lot of spools, but I laying around, but I just wanted to show you guys how you can do this by hand. So all I did was add glue to the rim. I'm just going to hold that on there, and that will provide just a little pressure on there. That'll get your lid going. And all I did was take hot glue and then put it around the rim edge, so that, so like this, flip it over and then line it up best way you can. And while the glue is still a little warm, well, for me, I can just take off any extra so that it doesn't, so that it's not ugly. And there we go. Super cute, right? It's so cute. So with that, now you can add your garland to your spool. So what I did was, I had another layer. I cut out another little piece of pattern paper, and then I had my string going here. You don't have to do that. You can just put a dot of tape or something on the base here. It was hard to get it out actually, so I'm just going to add a slit of hot glue, and then I'm going to add my garland there to the string to hold it. And then you just want to wrap it around. So you can take your time, wrap this all around, and make sure all of the pieces go the way that you want them to go. I kind of like them being, you know, turned around a little bit, but to show peaks of white. This is super cute. And then just go up and down the spool so you'll have even pieces layered. So this can take all day, honestly. No, it can't, but I'm a bit more impatient. So get that on there. And then I'm just going to put a dot of glue, just a tiny little piece, just to hold this end string at the bottom. So you could put another piece of pattern paper on top of there to hide that, but otherwise that should stay. Ta-da! Our box is coming together quite well. Now you can also line the bottom of your box if you want. So that would fit there. Super cute! So we do have to make the belly, I don't know why I put that in there. We do have to make the belly band. So let's go ahead and get that ready. Alright guys, we're at the home stretch. This is it. So we have our boxes stacked and we need to make a wrap. So all you need is a piece of pattern paper. This is cut at 1.5 by 11. And I have added stitching. Let me see. Stitching to the back. Just decorative stitching on it. And I ran out of charge when I was doing the garland and the other stuff. So it's just a simple straight stitch. So you want to line up the boxes together. Spray any shimmer or anything you want to spray on here. And then you want to just measure around it. And lightly pinch where you want the paper to fold. Just light, so you can just measure it all the way in the bottom, bring it around to the top. Okay? And then where it connects, you just want to put some glue there. So let me try to get it where you guys can see. So cut off the excess if you need to, but I like it to overhang just a bit. Pinch that, and then we're just going to apply the glue right there on the top. So I'm going to put a little glue here and a little bit on the top. Match it up. Take the boxes out. You want to do this with the boxes on there so you can make sure it comes on and off evenly, but once you get it set, go ahead and take it off and measure it out. Make sure you got everything lined up. And there we go. I'm going to fold over these corners hard now that I know where they are. Taking my bone folder, just giving them a good crease. And then you go ahead and put your boxes in there. Perfect. So I'm going to decorate it with this chip piece. This is a Prima chipboard piece. And I'm just going to add it to the top. Take off this tape. It's adhesive chip piece, but I like to add glue on top of that. And I'm just going to add it right here, just like so. So I'm just going to add a little glue just to my belly band and hold my chip piece on there. Okay, so now my box can still slide in and out, and you just have a little decorative element on top of the belly band. You can do whatever it is you like. You have enough room in there. I got this caught on something. Okay, you have enough room in there to decorate it as you see fit. Center that. And I have my little, I love that garland. So this goes over here, really cute. And then I'm going to grab some clothespins, 4 mini clothespins. These came from, I believe, the Target dollar bin. And then I have a little bit of crochet trim, which again came from the Target dollar bin. And I'm just going to wrap these clothespins in this crochet trim, just for a decorative element. So all I'm going to do is wrap it around and then add a little dot of hot glue on there, on the edge of the trim. Clothespin slide out. You can use twine, which is what I did in the other one. I thought this would be, since the paper is a little bit of a vintagey feel, I thought this would go better. But use what you want. Put my pieces back in there. Way cool. You want to just have an even number. How many ever you put in here, you want an even number. So that just drops in there. And then you have the top of your box. And we're done. So you can feel free to decorate the top if you'd like. If not, I think just adding a little bit of simple twine on your acetate piece works well too. Provides a nice little window. But they both work great. So hopefully this tutorial was helpful for you. If you like the video and you learned something, please click the like button. Subscribe if you would like more videos from me. And then check the links in the description box for any other social media links that you'd like to join me. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a good day.